Assalamualaikum and hi. I am UMAIRRA, the representative of Group 12, and the other members of the team, which is Nurul, Dhamirah, Athirah, and Nurul FARAHANIM, will propose a video about contract documentation and implementation, which consists of the information about the stages of process during the contract documentation based on the company that we interviewed, which is Casablanca Design Construction Sendirian Berhad and Azam Hadi Interior Designer. Construction industry has given out a chances for interior designer to facilitate their careers and reach out to the general public. In regards of the scarcity, interior design professional, architectural and engineering consultants have taken on this critical role in interior project implementation. However, before begin the daily interior design activities, it is vital to shield themselves from uncertainty, as trusting people can be scary at times. In the interior design contract, the interior designer must consider all that is important, such as a contract for interior design is a legal document that defines the terms of a relationship between an interior designer and a client. A number of conditions are spelled out in an interior design contract. The tender documentation process in Casablanca Design and Construction Sendirian Berhad is implied by when the project manager is responsible towards the tender documentation from the early stage of the process, which is start from the documentation to the conceptual process and also to the client issues, which will end in the quality and control matter. If there is any complication or the client is not satisfied with the project manager will have an impact on it, since it is the project manager's responsibility. Project manager is supposed to prepare a document of the project, since the agreement between the client and anything regarding the site will be arranged by the project manager. Whereas in Azam Hadi Interior Designer Company, the project manager will give a task and a schedule to the team in charge of the project to settle the documentation and drawing process. The flow of the process of the characteristics and materials that are in demand from the client also will be discussed with the project managers and the designer. As for the company that we interviewed, which is Casablanca Design and Construction, the project manager will go to the DBKL to take a tender documentation and pay for the project for a government-related project. The discussion in regards to the list of drawings will happen during the meeting in the company that is assigned, but sometimes the drafting man or interior designer itself will do the drawing and the project manager will only guide them. Project manager will check and revise the drawing in case there is a sign of implementation or amendment. While the tender drawing in Azam Hadi Interior Designer Company, the project managers are responsible for the outcomes of the drawing. Project manager has to guide and provide information about the logistic and safety of the project to the designer, as a certain complication will occur if there are any problems in the stages of the process on the site. Flow and circulation should be given more concern by the project manager.
Bill of quantity or BQ. First, the project manager will instruct subordinate staff to prepare BQ. After it is completed, it will be checked by the project manager whether what is listed and desired by the client is correct. If anything is left, the project manager will amend it again. Once the BQ is completed, the project manager will discuss it with the quantity surveyor as a mediator between the quantity surveyor and the client. This process is to avoid any hidden fees. The job of a quantity surveyor is to calculate the items that are listed on the market. The project manager will monitor each progress one by one and inform the client of how long each needs to be completed. Especially for government projects, they are quite complicated as they require meetings with many parties. The cost consultant will be instructed to prepare the BQ by the project manager. The quantity surveyor will determine the quality and quantity of work necessary by the main contractor to complete a project once it is completed. For authorities' approval, it involves top officials from the government and ministries. The City Council will list what needs to be provided by companies wishing to get project tenders. Tenders for projects are open to any company that is interested. Project manager is involved in the bidding process for project tenders. The project manager will submit the price to get the project tender that the quantity surveyor has estimated. For tender process, first, the project manager is involved in the preparation of the drawing, listing everything requested by the client. In this process, project managers need to deal with architects, quantity surveyors, engineers, and client. Next, discussion and decision with consultant and the client on type of tender that will be used. Next, managing project progress and adapt work as required. And last, ensuring projects meet deadlines. The tendering process ultimately determines who will perform the construction work and how a fair price and best value for performing the work is obtained. Next, depending on the nature of the project, choose an appropriate process for selecting tenders.
For Casablanca Design Company, after obtaining approval from the client, the quantity surveyor will calculate the price of everything listed by the project manager, and the project manager will write a report dealing with the designer. The written report will be reviewed by the designer before being submitted to the site supervisor. Usually, the project manager will go down the project site at the beginning and at the end. For Azam Hadi Company, the report must have all the details that have been done in the project. For Casablanca Company, after settling with all the tender documentation and give it back to the authorities, if contractor or project manager of a company successfully get the project, authorities will give letter of award to them. For small project, the project manager or contractor just sign a contract with client only. Lastly, for Azam Hadi Interior Design Company, project award are only for the authorities' project. When authorities are not involved, the project manager just sign a contract with the client. So, from this interview, we can conclude that the project manager is a very important role when involved with construction on site, while interior designers take part in the preparation of each requested by client according to what is specified. This is because one must bear in mind that successful construction management will provide to the successful achievement of projects. Thank you.